Hello everyone. So this is Surya sir teaching for UPSC CSC Anthropology. Today's topic of discussion is application of Mendelian's law of inheritance to man. Now this question has appeared in UPSC previous year questions of mains anthropology and hence is important. Now Gregor Mendel in his experiments on P doing a monohybrid, that is a single character, a dihybrid, that is a two character crosses, came up with various laws of inheritance. The first law is law of dominant and recessive traits or characters. So dominant trait is the one which is expressed in the first filial generation after crossing. So whenever gametes fuse and form a zygote, the character which appears in the first filial generation is called the dominant trait or the dominant character, and recessive one is which doesn't express. So this is the first law of Mendelian inheritance. What are its applications? First, in ABO blood group system, when a person or an individual has capital A small a blood group or capital A blood group as a genotype, then the phenotype will be A blood group. This means that the capital A is dominant and small a is recessive. Same applies to B blood group also. So ABO blood group system is used for parentage determination or solving paternity disputes. Now these are important for inheritance, adoption, etc. So similarly, Darwin's tubercle, which is a proliferation in the ear or thickening in the ear, which is transmitted as a dominant trait. So whenever it is dominant, that is it is expressed, and it is if it is recessive or it is in small form, it is not expressed. So law of dominance and recessive applies to ABO blood group and Darwin's tubercle. Now how can we apply? Now if a person or an individual children have a blood group A, so it cannot come from a blood group B parent. So in parentage determination, we can easily say who is not the father. Similarly, in cases of Darwin's tubercle, if none of the parents have Darwin's tubercle, then if possession by the child of Darwin's tubercle exclude themselves parent. That means if the child has Darwin's tubercle and none of the parent have Darwin tubercle, then they are not their parents. So this helps in paternity dispute resolution. Now one value addition you can do, Kushwaha 1992, he has resolved many disputes using ABO blood group system, Darwin's tubercle and other autosomal dominant and recessive characters. So you can add forensics, you can add Kushwaha's experiments of Kushwaha's solutions of 1992 in the application of law of dominance and recessive. Now it is also important for determining the sex of the offspring, that is Y dominates X. If the genotype of the child is XY, then it is a male. If it is XX, then it is a female. So Y dominates over X. Hence determining the sex of offspring is also an application of law of dominance and recessive. Law of dominance and recessive helps us to segregate those characteristics which are transmitted as a dominant trait, those characteristics which are transmitted as a recessive trait. Now here you can get good marks also. You can write achondroplasia. These are applications. Why you mention of achondroplasia gives more marks? Because homozygous achondroplasia is lethal, and hence it is an application in man because it is lethal in man. Recessive cystic fibrosis and phenylketonuria. Now these are very important genetic or hereditary diseases which can be studied with the help of law of dominance and recessive. They are expressed as a recessive character. So whenever we create a pedigree chart or a chart of the family, if we see that the child will have these characteristics because of the transmission of recessive trait, then we will counsel the parents not to have the child. So it is important in genetic counseling, pedigree analysis and prevention of hereditary diseases. Law of purity and segregation, that means each gene controls one character and it is pure in its expression, that is it expresses it 100%, not less than 100%. Now where can we apply this rule? Erythroblastosis fertilis, this happens in cases of pregnancy. So if the mother has antibodies against rhesus antigen and the child is rhesus antigen positive, then there will be a reaction. This reaction may be lethal for the child. So law of purity and segregation helps us prevent erythroblastosis fetalis. Pedigree analysis we discussed, that is we create a family chart. We pick up a character, see its inheritance across the chart. So through these inheritance pattern we can determine if the child will have diabetes, if the child will have hemophilia, because homozygous hemophiliacs are again lethal. Hence we can counsel the parents to not have the child if the mother is a carrier. So pedigree analysis can help us prevent a transmission of hereditary diseases. Now you can link it with population genetics also. It can help us produce a population which is of greater fitness. So scoring marks is all about analysis and interlinkage. It can also determine what percentage of trait will be transmitted. For example, PTC testing. Now this compound testing, 25% people population is unable to test PTC. Why? Because it is an autosomal dominant character. Now if you draw a F1 monohybrid cross, you will see that 25% of the people will be homozygous, small t and small t. If capital T test PTC, small t does not test PTC. So small t and small t will not test PTC, and it will be 25% of the population. Purity and segregation can also be used for hybridization studies. That is, different combination of characteristics and gametes, alleles can be used to produce a disease resistant, input responsive, high yield variety of seeds. It can help fuel green revolution, second green revolution, evergreen revolution. So you can add value to your answer. Law of equivalence is the third law, that the trait expresses equally when it is from father or the mother. Now whether it is from father or mother, brown eye will be dominant over blue, so more expression in the population will be of brown eye. Black hair will be dominant over a blonde hair. Black body will be dominant over albino, that is white skin. Fourth is the law of independent assortment, that is two contrasting characters will independently assort of each other in the next generation. That is, it will segregate independently of one another when we draw a cross of the two characters. So roller and taster, a dihybrid cross of this follows Mendelian inheritance. If it is dominant in the progeny, then he will be able to roll tongue and taste PTC. If it will be recessive in the progeny, he or she will not be able to roll tongue or taste PTC. So law of independent assortment also helps us study the inheritance pattern of a prominent phenotypic characteristics. Now I have not gone into the details of each and every law. More it is application based, because most of the books you will get the laws and it is easy to understand. Now how will you get more marks in such questions? You always mention that it is important in the study of hereditary disease transmission. It helps in pedigree analysis, genetic counseling of parents, so that harmful diseases are not transmitted in the progeny. Now in the second law, what was the second law? The second law was about, we can see here, law of purity and segregation. So law of purity and segregation, there is hybridization. Hybridization will lead to genetic variation. Genetic variation can lead to speciation. So you can link it with Darwinism also. So speciation will be there, variation will be there. You can link it with paper 2 also. S.P. Sinha and R.K. Singh in the Pahadia tribe and Santhal tribe of Jharkhand study showed that different variations can be, genetic variations are seen or which result in phenotypic variations due to Mendelian pattern of inheritance. You can also say that independent assortment or purity of gametes, if there is endogamy, that is marriage within the same kula, same clan. It was also studied by Bhatia et al. You can mention it, can lead to inbreeding depression, expression of recessive alleles, and leading to poor fitness of the given population. More you can mention, now very important, you can mention exceptions also. The Mendelian genetics applications have some exceptions. Why? Because in ABO blood group there is codominance. So the first law is there, law of dominance and recessive, but there is also codominance, which is not explained by Mendelian law of inheritance. Now, genomic imprinting. In many individuals, gene coming from father expresses differently, mother expresses differently. There is a disease, Huntington chorea, in which this expression is different. So Mendelian's law of inheritance is in some cases also not applicable. So we have to take that also into account. So you can also add one more important point, eugenics. Now Mendelian's law of inheritance will help us study the transmission of diseases. When the harmful trait will not transmit, then useful trait will only transmit, then the fitness will increase, then eugenics or better genomic of the population can be achieved, better race can be formed. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you like the video, then please comment in the comment section, share and subscribe it at Surya's Anthro for UPSC, the YouTube channel, and all you can join the Telegram channel at the rate of IS with Surya for more updates on any doubts. So please like the video so that I can make more videos like this. Thank you everyone.